And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm Jon BonJovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Hello once again, everybody. Thank you very much there. Legendary Jon BonJovial. Thank you so much there. Thank you, folks, for joining us again for what promises to be another exciting show. We've got some great new music, a couple of great talents, including a return from a young lady that we've had on several times in the past who has some new music to share with us. Speaking of new music, I want to introduce you to a guy who goes by the name of Bo Baskoro. And here he is with The Color Blue.
Longer drive, lost in a summer night. I was lovesick while you were quiet, but this was the solace we needed. You were tongue-tied, I turned radio on, 'cause I know that it's what you want. Then you boarded your windows up, building the space between the seats. Love, I know it's fine to just take it slow. You're delicate, but my heart is steady enough to wait. In the moments you're alone, yeah, it's hard to let it go. When your heart has lost its home, but your hope could be with me. You're a tide that wants the moon, pull me close, but then you push. What is love is burning you, and the chance to feel complete. You just fall for me. Circumstance, you never knew how to quit, and your heart was so eager then. Truth was a concept that he had in mind, yet, and I know run from you. I've got a color too. No, I can't trust the color blue. You just can't trust the color blue. When the moments you're alone, yeah, it's hard to let it go. When your heart has lost its home, but your hope could be with me. You're a tide that wants the moon, pull me close, but then you push. What is love that's burning you, and the chance to feel complete. Just fall for me, just fall for me. I don't mind the drive, I don't need the sleep. Just get out your head and closer to me, and just fall for me. Honey, just fall for me. Two racing hearts, so picking up speed to make up for moments when we were this whole year. In the moments you're alone, yeah, it's hard to let it go. When your heart has lost its home, but your hope could be with me. You're a tide that wants the moon, pull me close, but then you push. What is love that's burning you, and the chance to feel complete. So just fall for me. Just fall for me. Honey, just fall for me. Just fall for me. Honey, just fall for me.
That's Bo Baskoro from the AP Wildfire, which was premiered by Rolling Stone Indie, and they aptly dubbed it widescreen pop music. He was put on the industry's map during his recovery from a tumor and a labrum tear surgery. International brand Maxwell House commissioned a mini documentary of his experiences and his artistic drive amidst his health trials. They flew him to Los Angeles to meet the producer, Harvey Mason Jr., who is president of the Recording Academy and has worked with Aretha, Justin Timberlake, Michael Jackson, and others. And they had one of his singles, High, produced for Maxwell House marketing campaign. If you thought the name or the face was familiar, Baskoro is now featured as one of the faces on Max by Maxwell House, appearing in ads all over YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and all the other platforms. Watch for him. I think he's got a good sound. I think he's going to go places. Jon BonJovial, what you say?
Maxwell House, is he good to the last drop?
I hope so.
Yeah. I like the song. Very melodic. It seems to be rather well produced. Originality, I'm not going to lie, I don't think it's completely original, but I do like listening to it. He does have some original thought in there. It reminds me very much of some of the 80s stuff that Steve Winwood did. And that was the first impression that I had. But as far as commercial viability, I mean, this song is completely commercially acceptable. I can't see any reason why, if it doesn't catch on, then whatever today's versions of AC or CHR stations, to me, it'd be a no-brainer to grab it.
I hear you. Yeah, I agree. Kind of a taste of modernized 80s power pop. And I like it, too. It is, as you said, very listenable and definitely commercially viable. I think we'll be hearing more from Mr. Baskoro. Want to also mention our friends at WRFZ, Rochester Free Radio. That's 106.3 FM in Rochester, New York, and also online at rochesterfreeradio.com. Thank them for their support of the David Bowers Awards. And, of course, our house band, Titty Bingo, just provides some great Texas rock and roll, and they've provided our theme song for all these years. We thank them. Want you to check them out at tittybingo.com. Also want to mention that our friends at Anchor FM have made it possible for you to be a part of the David Bowers Awards and help support us supporting indie music and the artists who make it. So if you'd like to contribute to the support of indie artists and music, it's easy. Just listen to the show on Anchor FM and simply click the link at the end of the show on the Anchor FM page and chip in whatever you feel is comfortable. It's that simple, and it'll make you a part of the David Bowers Awards and also a part of supporting indie artists and their music. We've got a lot of stuff going on today, so I want to get first to our award for the week. Our first The David Bowers Award of the week. That's the part where the fanfare is supposed to. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk with those fanfare people. We want to congratulate music creation platform Splice and SoundCloud. They've joined forces to launch a new emerging artist program called Nova. Now, this is open to unsigned Splice and SoundCloud creators, and the partnership starts with a series of contests across the Splice and SoundCloud communities. According to Nova landing page, the winners of the first Nova contest will get to produce their own Splice Sounds pack. Splice is set to release 12 Nova artist packs, collections of signature sounds, loops, samples, starting in January of 22, and artists can enter the first contest right now. Selected Nova artists will have their music amplified on SoundCloud's distribution network, and the top 4 supernovas will get enhanced marketing and distribution services, including distribution support, investment, and amplification from SoundCloud on their next project, including, now get this, including $20,000 marketing spend. This is something that could be really big for indie artists. And the 4 winners will be picked by teams at Splice and SoundCloud. So check it out, indie artists, Splice and SoundCloud, their new emerging artist support program called Nova. Check it out, and hey, maybe we'll hear you right here on the David Bowers Award. Speaking of hearing on the David Bowers Awards, I think it's time to get to our first guest, who is standing by and ready to go. So let's bring in a tune called Rise by our next guest, Scott Gagner. Scott Gagner, ladies and gentlemen. Scott, come on in here and say hello.
Hi there. How you doing, David?
Doing great, Scott. Welcome aboard. Been looking forward to having you come in and join us on the show. That's from your current album, which is called Blood Moon, correct?
Yes, it is. That's track number 1, Rise, and very excited to share it with the world. I appreciate you having me on today.
Well, we appreciate you coming by, sharing your time as well as your music with us, and always glad to be able to share new music with our audience. I understand from what I see, there's quite a story behind this album and what led up to the creation of it. Can you give us a Reader's Digest version?
I'll give you the quick synopsis. I've been a Californian since 1992. Prior to that time, I grew up in Minnesota, and in the time between 1992 and let's say last summer, California has been an incredible home, but the last few years have gotten a little dicey for my family and I. I would say a lot of Californians have been feeling the squeeze, so to speak, on many fronts. And for us, living in Marin County, we were just a little too close to the wildfire action year after year. So we made the hard decision to relocate back to the more kind of moderate climate of Minnesota, moderate being a relative term.